cut away for 4. Leask, well, he's putting Nepal to the sword, and that Sampal Kami dropped catch when Leask was on just 14 is now proving very costly.
Well, he's timing the ball now so well. That's what he's been searching for. And he knows this ground so well. That was right to the shortest part. He cut beautifully.
Cut again. Kami this time will be able to do enough to cut it off. Leask has flown to 70 of just 49 deliveries. Really high quality cricket we're watching here. Nepal having the game maybe not taken away from their grasp entirely, but maybe they will have to effect a record run chase for the second time in 6 days to be able to make it 3 wins from 3. Scotland are holding the aces here. These final 5 could be very imperative. As Barrington goes through the offside, we'll just get the single as Bertel does really, really well.
The thing is, Lenny, even if they have to chase down a record score, I ain't putting it past them. I have learned very, very quickly, no matter what. This has just been really enjoyable so far, this innings, but I expect them to come out fighting very hard. Remember, Scotland have got a bit of an experience around their bowling attack. You just never know. But it's been fun. It's been entertaining. I'm sure that's how everyone feels. Still some fans coming in too, by the way.
Slower through the air. Clever bowling from Lamachan. He's bowling his 10th and final here. Been kept wicketless so far. So somebody's going to have to bowl overs 48 and 50 from this end. Irie has 3 left. Something has to change. It's been a bit too easy for Scotland. As Barrington pumps it all the way. That's going to go for 6 and very nearly take out our cameraman up on the gantry. It's hit by Michael Leask. Apologies, not Richie Barrington. 2 of them are looking as good as each other. And that one is, well, great evasive action taken by our hero up on the gantry. Glad it didn't knock into him.
Well, he is on one. He really is, and it's always special to watch when Michael Leask unfurls. Where does he go next?
Going to be wicketless for Sandeep Lamachan. Definitely should have had 1 next to his name. Maybe not his best set of 10 overs. 10 overs none for 69 for him. Leask has again kept the strike. It is Barrington at 90, but it was Leask that hit that big 6 down the ground. What a strike that was. 269 for 5. Scotland, well, fantastic from them. Let's hope he's alright up there, our cameraman. That's Jan up there. The 100 partnership's been brought up in that over as well. It's come off just 84 deliveries. A fantastic fight back. They were in a few spots of bother, weren't they, when Matthew Cross was dismissed and they were 5 down. Things looked a bit difficult for Scotland when they were 25 for 2. Low score again from McMullen and Munsey today. You also felt things were looking difficult, but the fight back's being led by Richie Barrington and now Michael Leask's pyrotechnics. He's only got one one-day international century in his career. That came against Nepal in Kathmandu 2 years ago in this very league. You'd imagine that he might get to the 100 before Barrington, the way things are going.
You know, I had to go back and check what phrase I used for Michael Leask in a piece I wrote when he had that partnership with Richie Barrington in Kingston. I called him a jack-in-the-box bursting with fireworks.
He's great to watch. Now, it's going to be Sampal Kami. That one's right off the toe of the bat, so we'll bring Richie Barrington on to strike. This has been such a good partnership to watch, hasn't it? Nepal have been a bit naive at points, but brilliant from both right-handers.
Well, I made the point a few times ago, I just love it because they are so different in personalities. You know, Richie Barrington is so softly spoken, but everybody will almost lean forward to listen to him. Michael Leask is not softly spoken, and everyone puts their hands over their ears when he's talking. Such different characters.
Swing and a miss from Barrington, who, just since he's got that treatment, has lost his way a bit, isn't he? Clearly looks in more than a bit of bother and a bit of pain. And maybe the best result for Scotland right now for this period, just Barrington to get a single ever he can, at least can continue this explosive fireworks that he's showing off.
Yeah, I think he might be in quite a bit of pain. Incredible, Barrington, what he goes through.
Smoked. Absolutely smoked, and it's maybe going to go all the way it is. Leask is, well, putting on a performance that Richie Barrington is now trying to equal. That's a fine stroke, isn't it? How's he opened up the offside there?
I'm trying to get my head around that. What an extraordinary shot. My goodness, Richie Barrington in pain, reaches at a wide one and just opens the face of his bat, flays it away, up and over, extra cover. Gosh, it's a stroke and a half from the captain.
Helped round the corner. Karen KC does enough. Oh, so nearly the moment for Barrington to go to what would be a 6th ODI 100. Instead, he'll get back for the second. He moves to 98.
Well, this will be warming up the Scottish fans, seeing Richie Barrington approach 100. I will be ecstatic if he can get there. I think he's going to get there before Michael Leask if the two of them stay out there, but maybe another 2 overs and it might have been a close call.
Big swing and a miss. Yeah, Nepal's death bowling, it does leave a little to be desired. The express pace of Nandan Yadav was on the bench, the slower ball skills and expertise and left arm. Seeing Rijan Dakal's on the bench too. Cammy's done the role reasonably well in various formats, particularly with that heroic performance out in Texas in the 3-0 series clean sweep in the Stars and Summits Trophy. But it is difficult for them. Barrington clobbers it into the leg side. It's going to be a 6th one-day international century and an understated punch of the fist from simply Scotland's greatest ever. There's no doubt about that. A punch of the crest as well. The privilege to watch this man bat, and he's done it yet again. 102 not out. It's come off 114 deliveries. He's not just one of Scotland's best. He's one of the greatest in associate history, and he's doing it yet again.
How many times have we seen Scotland in trouble and Mr. Dependable Richie Barrington comes to the middle? That's what he's done today. They lost 2 early wickets. He came out and he has been the backbone of this Scotland effort once again. He is just always so reliable for them. But it's also been entertaining. It's been full of flair, some incredible shots that he's played all around the ground. And it really is just a reward to see him hold his bat up and celebrate another century.
He's a man for all seasons, is Richie Barrington. That was the moment he went to the 100. It's not going to be Depender Singh Iree, it's going to be Karen KC. And I think that Michael Leask is going to be licking his lips here. 3 overs remain. Leask is on 78. Good bat speed. That was almost baseball-esque. He's kind of almost pointed to long on where he wanted to hit it.
Okay, we are having the Jack in the Box bursting with fireworks. Well, I think we're going to have fireworks of one sort or another in these final overs.
Well, he doesn't want to get to 100 just in 50 overs. I think he wants to do it this over. Everything must go right now. Michael Leask is going to throw the kitchen sink. And that will be too wide outside the off stump, given as a wide. The plan here again with the field that we've seen set, is it to get it into the block hole outside the off stump?
You would imagine so, and that's I think what he was aiming to do there. He just got his line a little bit too wide. Outside the off stump, that's where Leask would be hitting with the assistance of the wind. If he goes leg side, he is hitting directly into it. I'm just looking for the protection. The field is out the leg side. Yeah, it's got a couple.
Three deep in the leg side. Bowled into the pitch. That's very well bowled. That's where he should have gone. We'll get a couple though, even though Depender Singh Iree sprints after it and forces Richie Barrington to really get the long strides in. He's just got to be careful here, Leask, not attempting to overhit, because he's got so much power. If he holds his shape, he can go over extra cover out towards us. That's where we're positioned, or over the head of cover, and such a short hit out to the offside with the wind. That'll be a good place to target too.
Yeah, you're right. You just get the feeling if he just keeps playing the way he has, doesn't have to go too hard.
Tries to go over extra cover, instead gets an inside edge. I think he'll get a couple, so he'll keep the strike. Gulshan Jha will keep it to 2. Barrington wants the third, run out chance. Gone. Well, it was very ambitious, wasn't it? I think they'd have been better off just keeping Leask on strike, but Barrington called for it, and Jha's throw was more than good enough. Asif Sheikh whipped the bails off, and he's going to end up sprawled across the turf. Not the way he'd have wanted to end his innings, but it doesn't take away from it whatsoever. It will end a marvellous 6th wicket partnership. Barrington will trudge off, gets a big pat on the back. It was always going to be difficult to get back for the third. Run out by a long way.
It was always going to be a big risk taking on the arm. Have been outstanding in the field, have Nepal throughout this game, but what an innings from Richie Barrington. Might be a bit disappointed to leave now, but look at that. Mark Watt just having a little word as he goes off as well of appreciation for his captain. Incredible innings from Richie Barrington. He is just someone you would say, I choose you to bat for my life. And just pushing for the third, the closing stages of the innings. It was a good dive that he put in, but it was never going to be enough. But having said that, incredible innings. Is out for 102 as Mark Watt comes to the crease.
Might have just been a sign that Barrington was saying, well, look, I'm going to push the envelope here. I'm out of my feet. What a knock. And the way Mark Watt played the other day, there'll be no shortcoming with him coming to the crease. He'll have the leg side to target with the wind.
Batted really well when in the last game against the Netherlands, when Scotland lost so many of their wickets up the order. He can bat in different ways, Mark Watt, depending on what the situation requires. He can build an innings, but he's got plenty of power of his own. We've often seen that with Watt and Leask batting together.
It's a good way of finding boundaries. That's a good delivery, though, right into the block hole. Rarest of things. I haven't seen many dots in the last power play. Any wicket always helps. It always finds a way to sort of stunt the growth and the momentum of the innings. It was just so impressive. What a partnership for the 6th wicket. Really, really good. It's Scotland's highest for the 6th wicket in one-day internationals. It breaks the 116 that Callum MacLeod and Craig Wallace put on back in against Canada. When was that? I only know that because Craig Wallace came in to tell me. I'm joking, he didn't. Driven down the ground. So Craig Wallace's name goes out of the record books, and in goes Richie Barrington and Michael Leask. He's still here, not far away from us, in case you're wondering why we're having a bit of fun with Craig Wallace, and now Scotland women's head coach. Yeah, they came together at 162 for 5, and it wasn't just the fact they put on that 125, but it was the fact that they did it so quickly. It came off just 93 balls.
I was remembering when you brought up the partnership graphic, when they had around about, I don't know, 35, 36, but it was on about 22, 23 balls.
Only 4. Just sat up to be hits. Too easy right now for Michael Leask, and he has found that zone through extra cover. It'll round out the boundary, the over with the boundary. 48 have been bowled, 292 for 6. Leask closing in on a second ODI ton.
Heavens above. I point out, as we watch another replay of that shot, just how it took him a while. He still looked scratchy when he came in today. Dropped on 14, remember, as well, off Sandeep Lamashani. And just spending that time out in the middle in familiar terrain, you could see it was like everything just started flooding back for him as this innings has progressed. It's been wonderful to watch Michael Lees go about his work today. Be something else if he ends up getting a century. Two completely different players going about their centuries in different ways as well, but so typical of each of them too, if he gets there.
Both have been brilliant. What we'll think about giving Lees the strike, but he might also quite fancy his chances of finding boundaries too. Instead it's a play and a miss, does neither. Roll pedal, a long chat there with Sampal Kami. He hasn't really been overly proactive here, Roll pedal, has he? He's kind of just said, okay, well, Namachani's going to bowl 5 in the trot to round out his spell. KC and Kami will guide us home. No Gulshan Jah, who's got the extra height and bounce and extra bit of pace. No Depender Singh, who's so good for his 7 overs. It almost feels like he's kind of got caught with his plans a bit here. And it's been reasonably costly, isn't it?
Well, it has. It's felt like it's just been the plans of the plans. We saw a massive conference happening a few overs ago where it just looked like they were all trying to work out their way of this one. But you do have to give some credit to the way that Michael Lees in particular has just accelerated. It's like taken control over things and left Nepal just kind of a bit flat-footed in trying to work out how to contain him.
Well, I think what Pell did well in the other games was get more of KC's and Kami's overs done with earlier in the innings. Kami is probably the one that they're happier using at the death, but somehow KC's not going to bowl his 10 despite that brilliant first spell, and he's ended up bowling 4 of the toughest 9 overs of the innings because he came back on, didn't he, in the 43rd. He's now going to bowl 48 and 50, and you might think, well, hold on, why are you suggesting a right arm off spinner to bowl at the death? Depender Singh, he's not a stereotypical right arm off spinner. He's short in stature, he spears it in, he's usually very economical. His least inside edge is this one, it'll race for 4. Moves into the 90s, does Michael Lees. Every chance it will be a second ODI 100, plenty of time to get there yet.
Well, he's now just hitting it so well, he doesn't even have to middle it. Inside edge, flies for 4. Incredible stuff from Lees.
I think it might have gone through his legs as well, the nutmeg. Yeah, Lees Meg up here.
The Lees Meg.
Leash.
It doesn't really flow off the tongue.
Not quite the same, is it? 90 he's got to now. Michael Lees, what an impact he's had on this match. Nepal, well, you look a bit punch drunk out there, staggering around the oval. To Karen KC, does well, decides not to throw it, probably the right option. That came quickly to him. Lees can't believe it, he's missed out.
He's so annoyed.
Lapping up the TV time is Michael Lees.
But we did think they might be looking up at pushing up around even towards 3:30. They're not going to get anything like that.
Kind of a couple of good overs here in the last 5, but it's generally belonged to Scotland. Lees wants everything to go. Short, wide, too wide, given as a wide.
Yeah, Michael Lees, can you imagine him as a carpet salesman? Everything must go. He'd be brilliant, wouldn't he?
7 deliveries left. 298 the score. Could be a very tough final over. I wonder will Depender Singh bowl it, particularly if Mark Watson strike. Great atmosphere around the ground. Here's Kami comes in again. 4 more. He's going to race down to our right. The ground staff will look after it. Lees, he's been sensational. Is this game being taken away from Nepal? Scotland, they've got the 300 up.
Well, he had played the shot almost in exactly the same manner. It felt like he'd gone, well, you stopped me last time. This time I am going to get the damn ball through there, and he did. It's just been incredible stuff. Didn't go through the legs this time, but he got it much finer. Everything at the moment, it just has to kiss the bat.
So here comes the final over. Not going to be Depender Singari, going to be Karen KC. Who will bowl it, and Mark Watt really has one job, doesn't he? Even Mark Watt's not going to wind up Michael Leask enough to not get a single here, is he?
Get down the other end. Get down the other end, Mark Watt. He's got plenty of options to do it as well.
KC will come round the wicket. Good length, and Watt not doing his job, and it's so apparent, isn't it, what Watt's going to try and do. So KC goes to a good hard length. Leask is chomping at the bit to get on strike. Only 5 deliveries left.
Oh dear. Oh, he's got to get him down there. Come on. We can manifest it.
Another dot here would be...
Oh. Look at Leash, you can see it. Like I said, if you're terrible at poker, you know exactly what he's thinking right now.
Yeah, cat on a tin roof. Can Mark Watt get the single?
Oh,
He's going to pump it out of the ground instead. Will Leask come down and say, well played, or will he say, get me a single? Dug into the surface, and there's almost a question of, well, what are you doing?
oh dear, oh dear. Oh. Right, 4 balls left. Michael Leask on 94.
I'd love to be able to hear this discussion.
So would I. So would I.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, Waddy. It was a good shot, but, you know, try to get me a single too. Yeah, just sat up to be hit. Leask is running for the single, but there's no point in running for the single. We're going to have the case of new balls brought on. He's been in plenty of action today, isn't he? Our thanks as always to our match officials out there. Gazzy Seld and Ryan Mill. Ian McDonald is the third umpire bringing the balls on.
I mean,
getting his steps in today.
I'm sure Michael Leask was actually saying to Mark Watt, yes, good shot, get every single run that you can get because, you know, this is about the team. This is a team sport.
He said, come on, Watt. You hit one, just give me one. Give me a single. I'll have 3 balls to get 6 runs then. Lovely little fascinating period of play here. 4 deliveries left. It's going to be 6 more. He's got it up into the wind. That's just going to keep going. Hasn't got a huge piece of it. And just watch Michael Leask now. He's down again. He's talking to him again. What's he saying to him, Mel Farrell?
I don't want to presume. But goodness, just got up and underneath it.
Michael Leask could end up running out of balls here. 3 deliveries left. Back-to-back maxims, you can't argue with that from Mark Watts. Angle. Robert Powell again comes to have a conversation with his veteran. This isn't Karen Casey's skill set right at the death. Remember, he bowled 5 overs and he had 2 for 12. He's now